wanaweza kukopa deni bila interest katika mpango yetu ya housing. You see the way he talks about that thing. He is very happy about it because of how much money he's making from it. William Ruto cannot champion any idea where he is not making money with his friends. He cannot think beyond his stomach. William Ruto, if you are listening today or your cohorts are listening using a fake account, I want to ask you, what else can money do for you? Money bought you MP. Money bought you minister. Money bought you a helicopter and URP. And it bought you MPs. You became a deputy president. Money bought you members of parliament who are singing your name here wakiitwa Timtangatanga. Money has bought you the presidency. What else is this that you want money to buy from you? Why are you still stealing? Because the reason we have corruption in Kenya is because the president is corrupt. Tusiogope kusema kama atatuma dizia waninyonge ni sawa. I am saved. I am ready to go to heaven. Heaven is beautiful. Streets are made of gold. Jasper and onyx. Nani hapa amewahi Jasper and onyx? Hakuna. Mimi am ready to see it. Kwa hivyo Ruto asituuzie uoga. He is the most corrupt person in Kenya. He is the father of corruption. And I keep praying for this man. Ile kitu anabeba pale kwa mkono kama ukweli ni Biblia. Yes, the cover is written Holy Bible, but I don't know the contents. If that thing is really a Bible, let him read it and he makes sure he understands it. If he understands it, let him decide, yes, I am a child born of corruption. I have come to power through corruption. But I'm making a decision today to leave a better country for my children, better than I found it. Sasa sahi watoto wake wanafanya matatu business. And that matatu business, there is nothing a child of a president needs for the child of the president to do matatu business. Ni wash, laundry. Iyo ukienda kwa bank account ya hizo matatu, utapata somebody is banking 10 million every day anasema ni ya matatu. This is money that has been stolen from Kenyans. You go to the National Treasury, crime scene. Pesa inakopo kutoka ngambo, inatumika kutrade huko ngambo, inatengenezea watu pesa. Ikikuja Treasury, it doesn't go to the consolidated fund. To avoid going through the control of budget so that it doesn't go through the budget. You go to the office of the DPP. This person that was appointed, this one. Crime scene. Recently, he withdrew a case against Najib Balala. The juzi ameandika barua akisema Oparanya he does not have any case to answer. They have been withdrawing corruption cases left, right and center. But they are very quick to put youth in court and sometimes they even oppose bail for people just coming out with a flag na firimbi to fight for a better country. Your office of the DPP is a crime scene. And I want to tell everybody that is listening today, my friends, there is a problem with independent institutions and independent offices in Kenya. These independent offices, the word independent, iliisha kitambo. An inspector general under the constitution is supposed to be independent. But he comes to the office, anaambiwa sign barua mbili. Sign barua ya appointment, na sign barua ya resignation without a date. Ile siku yenye unasikia ni kama hutaki kufanya vile wanataka, they put a date on your resignation letter. Wewe unaona kwa Citizen TV, you've resigned. Now there's nothing you can say because these are the chief killers in our country. You go to Expressway. I saw the president saying, our country is really good at public-private partnership. If you go to the Expressway, in fact, let me just say it in his voice. Hii project yetu ya Expressway, hii ni mpango ambayo ilikuja through public and private partnership. Sasa anasifu hiyo project ya Expressway na ile ni money laundering inaendelea pale. But they don't be happy about these people that come to our country as foreign investors. This is our own money stolen from Kenya, taken abroad, then a Kamuzungu or a Chinese comes as a proxy, comes to launder the money in Kenya through some project like Expressway. Ile ni money laundering inaendelea pale. This country, mahali imefika, is a crime scene. We are living in a setup. These people want to finish us. If we don't come out on the 8th of August, there will be no country. There will be no country to come back to. In fact, we should just stop getting children. If we don't come up on the 8th of August, tuache kuzaa watoto because they will suffer. That is all I have to say today.
Hold on. You'll come back with the way forward.
The issue is hawa wakubwa wetu wametusoea sana. So our officers walikuwa wanasema the prison headquarters under the Commissioner General of Prisons has always delayed increment of our salaries whenever the office of the president declare an increment of salary to all discipline services to a duration of a month, 2 months, 3 months, with the excuse of system failure. It is well known that the CGP and the HR salaries directors have fixed accounts that they keep our money and reap from it. The CGP
We've lost you. Edgar, unamsikia kweli?
Officers who seem unhappy with their actions. The increment order from the president is given to the treasury and towards all discipline services, and our question is, why is it at all times whenever there is money supposed to be paid to the prison officers, the office with the mandate Amerix, unanipata?
Wewe endelea. Tuambie.
Amerix.
Wapi? Ni Kenya tu hapa ndio unaona vitu kama hizi.
Maze ndio nakwambia, sasa ni kama watu feel. You know, I've been trying to, hata nimeambia ndugu yangu pale Buye nataka hivi ili nyingine aniletee. Kuna hiki tulikuwa tunatumia tukiwa vijana inaitwa fair, I feel like nimefika my what do you call it? My climax of hasira. Being peaceful isn't working anymore. And I'm not going to sit down and watch you fuckers over and over again. Wacha tutoke maandamano na fair. I'm not saying mtoke maandamano na fair, but this is just a thought I've been thinking about. We are so much in deep shit and these politicians don't seem to be giving a single shit what we think. Msigome, we are still going to do what we want. Even the Adani deal, they want, we might be just here ranting and they'll just go ahead and do it.
Kimani, just hold on. Shikilia tu hapo. Kasmuel, I see you here. What do you want to say?
Yes, brother.
Have you told this fellow my mentee?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Those people who do not know, Amerix is one of the people who really helped me out with drama and music when I was in high school. No, I'm not bragging. However, mi nataka tu hasira ibaki juu. Leo sina, I don't have the facts to give you. I just need to bring a few things to our notice. This past 2 or so days, you've seen the vetting of the CSs happen. You've seen that people have claimed that they've worked for 30 years and they accumulated, for example, 400 million. But in the past less than 2 years, somebody's net worth has increased by over 200 million. I don't know which business that is because remember the shilling was not doing too well. Tax has gone up, cost of living has gone up, but kuna wase bado wamemake na sijaona hiyo business because politicians don't produce anything. All politicians produce is violence and chaos. They don't have industry. Unasikia mtu anakuwa vetted. The question wanaulizwa, where have you said? Mtu kama Duale anasema from selling his biography. Najua watu wenye wako hapa, very few people have read it. And yes, because it's the biggest selling book in Nuria does not make it seem as though he's selling 1 million copies a week. Again, uliona nani akikuwa interviewed Oparanya. Nani Junet alikuwa ana nod as though to guide the person to answer no to the question. I'm hearing people declare their wealth. Nobody's even asking for tax returns. These questions are being asked as though it's just a formality. Ini meeting ya watu wa form 4 wanajaribu kusema nani atakuwa CU chairman. And ilikuwa isha determiniwa first term. These people are just hanging out as a boys club. I need to remind you, uniweke hasira juu. Sina sijui nini. Polisi umesikia our comrade, the cop saying, waliongezewa 4,000. Have you seen the amount of force these people use to us on the streets? Is it worth 4,000 shillings? If you're a cop and you're listening to this, I need you to ask yourself, is 4,000 shillings worth brutalizing your brothers and sisters for on the streets. Remember, again, there's this propaganda of this silly disease that's being touted called mpox. If by my analysis, it just feels as though they want to make it look like COVID. You've seen the photos of the boil looking all ugly, but it feels as though they want to impose a lockdown so that what was he andamane, so that there's no public gatherings, because they've just dissipated it as propaganda. And this is what we said: this aura for aura business should not cease, because Ababu, the government needs to be reminded that they do not own monopoly of propaganda. They might have monopoly of violence, but they do not have monopoly of propaganda. Remember, hii kitu ya mpox to me it doesn't even sound like a real disease. Ina sound kama kitu imekuwa fabricated. It sounds like a sponsored ad, because at your patient zero got it while traveling from Uganda to Rwanda through Kenya. It does not make any sense. For me, it just seems like it's a lockdown thing. Kumbuka, weka hasira yako juu. How many bodies have shown up at city so far? The last time I saw the report, it was 240 something. So it means one body for every constituency. Uko hapa, you've sat down as a Kenyan, bado unajiuliza ati why should I go for maandamano? It is for these people who are dying like dogs. Those people, I attended this Tomboya show and they mentioned the names, and I remember being so moved and standing, because there are people who laid their lives so that we can get this far. Remember, your local politician produces nothing, but sisi tuko hapa Twitter, tunatukanana, tunasema sijui nani has done this. While the revolution is going on, we need to have one common enemy. Our common enemy is a conman, he's a looter, he's a killer and a murderer, and hires on corruption and cronyism. It is very true, and I'm very sad to admit that there are people who have made money off of the revolution. There are people who've received funding from organization in the name of mobilizing people, and they have not used that money for the collective. These people, we will not let them lose. That's one thing I need to assure them. And ever since I knew, nilikuwa nafikiria kila mtu anakuja hiki tu kwa na roho safi, but watu tu wako mchezo ya town. Ever since I knew, we said these people will have to be brought to the book. However, as long as they are still furthering this agenda, we have to figure that Nane Nane thing, because I'm not hearing enough of us talking about this Nane Nane thing. Remember, when this embittered currently Nairobi-based outgoing president is touring around, these trips still cost millions. It's just that we're not seeing the books. Nobody's auditing it. I think, and I would wager, they cost just as much as his international trips would cost. He's now gone on a very, very rampant campaign trail, and we are letting this thing slide while having this infighting. Nane Nane is coming up. You've seen the way people wanateseka. Umesikia vile artists wanadharauliwa huku nje. Umesikia vile watu wanadhulumiwa huku nje. Women are still getting raped in those informal settlements or slums. Men are still being shot like dogs. People in the slums are still going hungry. But watu wamekaa hapa chini in a chamber, in a parliament of baboons, where people sit down, interview each other as a round table chama. It's capture harvest. They go and just pick from public coffers as though they are taking an unsecured loan from a sacco. Na wewe umekaa hapo, hasira yako inapungua. Unakaa chini, you have the guts to think you can question the movement. You think that we will get another moment where we will give this system shock therapy like this. It's never going to happen if we don't follow through with it. It's never. You've seen the effects it has all across Africa. So ukijaribu kuacha hiyo hasira yako ishuke, nitakukumbusha net worth ya our CSs. Unakaa hivi chini, ukumbuke you are a peasant, you are a pauper. That's why you're on this space. If you had anything, you would not be on this space. Even the people who we think have money who are on this space, they have nothing. They're trying to gather more information on how best they can screw you. Now wewe bado unakaa chini, you think you have moral high ground to call out what this movement is. Let's not accept to be sucked into the useless, these baseless infightings. Because as Ayn Rand said in 1957, when you see that in order to produce, you need to obtain permission from men who produce nothing. When you see that money is flowing to those who deal, not in goods but in favors. When you see that men get richer by graft and by pull than by work, and your laws don't protect you against them, but protect them against you. When you see corruption being rewarded and honesty becoming a self-sacrifice, you may know that your society is doomed. Alafu bado kuna watu wanakuuliza, after Ruto, what next? We have figured out that society is doomed and we're trying to reclaim it. And if you think about whatever even this CS vetting process is like someone who's doing a colonoscopy where they're supposed to be examining your internal organs, but they're doing it with a telescope. Nobody is up for accountability anymore. And the more we let these people slide, the more we let them deal and whore our future around, we will not have a country. This thing which people are lying and deceiving you that we don't have a country, people are trying to let the country descend into chaos is nothing. Because when you say Ruto must go, and I want to explain this to you very clearly if you're listening to the sound of my voice. When you say Ruto must go, you are affirming the position of the Constitution. Because on September 21st, 2020, CJ Emeritus David Maraga advised the then President Uhuru to dissolve Parliament because it was not in good standing. Years later, this Parliament as it sits is unconstitutional. So all this rigmarole of what comes next, there will be no power vacuum. Let nobody lie to you that the country will descend into chaos. Because we are peaceful, beyond being tribeless, leaderless, and fearless. We are also not, as I keep on saying, we're protesters, not rioters and looters. Nobody should lie to you that the country will descend into chaos. Because what the president knows very well, if you read the Constitution, you cannot also litigate that matter of now Supreme Court, the president of the judiciary has said something. Now you want to litigate it in High Court. It is not a matter of litigation. You just follow the Constitution. You may not see it. Jamaa wanajaribu kureport left, right, and center. I don't know what we have done. We are citizens. We have a right to assemble and talk. That is our constitutional mandate to do that. So, Okayo, where are you? There was a young man, Okayo, who is pushing civic education. Sisi kama bado tuko hapa X tunagombana. Huko inje there are people doing something. They are talking to mama mboga, to whatever, boda, kwa matatu, everywhere. They are talking. They are telling them, look, this is why we are agitated. This is why we are not happy. This is why things are not going the way they're supposed to go. People need to be empowered with information. And that's what they are doing out there. But sisi hapa X, what are we doing? Insulting each other, demeaning each other, belittling each other, abusing each other. Something that we need to stop. We need to hold each other accountable, yes, but let us be in unity. Polo.
Yes, sir.
Endelea.
Hata nimepoteza nini. Where was I? What was I saying? I was talking about, my main, my core reason why I'm here is to talk about minerals and also, the impunity. But my business right now is about minerals. I was saying Jimmy Wanjigi should be here. And also I saw Steve Mbogo speaking about the same issue. I think it was on Spice FM. Maybe she also tells us, maybe he forgot to mention, is it true that you have a mining, a mining site in Kenya and another one in Tanzania? Is that true, Steve Mbogo?
I saw Steve Mbogo here. The space has been having issues.
I think I can also see.
Steve Mbogo, are you here? I saw you. He was in the speakers panel.
Yeah, he's a speaker.
Maybe as we wait for Steve Mbogo, we have Ruben, Papa Ruben. I started listening to Papa Ruben back when I was still a small fellow. Joy Bring Us on VOK. Papa Ruben.
Thank you very much, Amerix. I was getting worried because I have another meeting lined up, but thank you let me just use a few minutes. First of all, I wish we had time to talk about what MC Njagi is going through, because that's a whole issue that I have so much data on. But that's for another day. I would like to highlight 4 things. First of all, I would like us to understand that what we are dealing with is an enemy that has not been understood by Kenyans. And we need to break it down so that the amount of anger we put in this thing is maximized. Now, if we want integrity and somebody does not work on it, if we want accountability and somebody doesn't like it, if we want a lean government and somebody wants an expanded one, if we want to live within our means and someone is teaching his people and living extravagant, then we have a real enemy of our country. If we want the sacking of the entire cabinet, as in let them go so we can have a national representation on meritocracy, then we have a reshuffle of cronies. And worse still, you have the so-called opposition brought into government as if to mock citizens. It's like mtadu tunaenda kufanya hivi, and that's what we want to do. You can do nothing about it. We know that parliament is an appendage of the executive. That we know. We know what they have done to us in this country. I mean, the fertilizer scandal notwithstanding, they can mock us that way. And money will change hands, and one way or the other, parliament will remain what it is. So when we see the so-called vetting, and we actually take time to listen and even comment, I'm wondering, honestly speaking, what are we even commenting on? We already know this is a rogue system. We know it's a rogue process. So we need to come to a place of reality where we really understand our enemy. And we must come together and go to the root of the problem. You know, I want to say this. Many of you view me as a musician, and so you read me in the light of a song. And you view, some in fact view me on the basis of disability, all of that. But I need you to know that I graduated from university at the same time as Ruto. He was at the University of Nairobi, I was at Kenyatta University. We are 9 months apart in birth. And so I have been around and I've been looking at how this country goes. He goes into business, I go the other direction into my professions and other things. And we come to a point where even with systems of education, we all know what worked and did not work. We know what this country needs to be. And so when you see me angry, I'm not angry because the Gen Zs provoked us to look at these issues. I've been angry for a long time. If you go to my videos, I've been speaking against Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila, especially from 2018. The BBI stuff. So I don't come into this the way you view me as a singer. I come as a bona fide citizen. And for those of you that think I'm from Rwanda, I'm from Bunyore. Kigame is from Bunyore in Vihiga. So I'm a citizen of this country. And I may be a singer, but I'm a PhD student right now. So it's not lack of education. It's not a pity party thing. I'm in this because I'm genuinely angry and I want Ruto to go with his entire system. For heaven's sake, I'm a philosophy, I teach philosophy. I teach history. And I'm so angry that a few people can take a whole country captive and, lead them like they own them. This cannot be allowed to go on. No, we will not let it happen. This country is full of blood. We've shed too much blood from independence. But Ruto and his system, in 1 year, we only know 247 at the city morgue. I've been to the Yala River. I've been to that hospital and talked to those guys. some families, some doctors there. When Giggs Tata was shot, I went to Mombasa. I was with the family. I was at Kenyatta Hospital visiting with those who were shot, who were injured. We are not dealing with a joke. Citizens have been murdered by this country, by this government. In my private time, I talk a lot to people in the security docket. I have policemen who are my friends. When somebody tells you they have, they are given like 17 to 18,000 a month, of course, it sounds like a lot. But that is what they have for rent. That is what they have for food. That is what they have for the school fees of their children. That is what they have for transport. That is what they have for everything. And they're living in squalid conditions. Mabati structures, like the officer said, some of them leaking. I have friends in that state. When we talk about a few people living like they don't belong here, friends, I don't think we are angry enough. I don't think we are angry enough.